Welcome to Stories with Samira. Friends, today is February 26th and today is Punya Tithi or death anniversary of our very own first Indian woman in medical science, Dr. Anandibai Gopal Joshi. She graduated with a 2-year degree in Western medicine in the United States in the year 1886, almost 135 years ago. So today, let's hear the story of her early education, what inspired her to study medicine, and how a chance reading of a letter helped her to go to America to study medicine. Anandibai Joshi, or Yamuna, as was her name before marriage, was born on March 31st, 1865 in Pune. Her father, Ganpat Rao Joshi, was a rich landowner of Kalyan, a town north of Bombay, and her mother, Gangabai Joshi, was from Pune. She was named Yamuna after the sacred river, which meant daughter of the sun. Yamuna's childhood passed happily between her father's house in Kalyan and grandfather's home in Pune. She was a bright and intelligent child, a great favorite in both the households. When she was around 5 years old, a member of their clan named Gopal Vinayak Joshi came to stay with them. He was a clerk in the government post office department, a widower, and a fairly educated man. Finding Yamuna eager and anxious to learn, he started teaching her Sanskrit. He taught her for 3 years. After 3 years, he was transferred to Alibag and had to leave the house. Little Yamuna was distraught, as she thought it would be the end of her studies. She insisted on going to Alibag with her teacher. Her father was puzzled at this request, while her mother was not in favor of her continuing studies, as Yamuna was of a marriageable age now. However, her grandmother, that is, mother's mother from Pune, came to her rescue. She decided to accompany young Yamuna to Alibag so that she could continue studies under the tutelage of Gopal Rao. From Alibag, Gopal had been transferred to Kolhapur, and it was probably there that the grandmother parted with her, as she was soon to be married to Gopal. Yamuna and Gopal got married on the 31st of March, 1874, the day on which she completed her 9th year. As per the customs, after her marriage, she was named Anandi, meaning joy of my heart. Post their wedding, the young couple moved to Kutch, where Gopal had been appointed as a postmaster. In her next home too, she continued studies under her husband's superintendence. Anandibai's only child was born in her 14th year, sometime early in 1878. It lived for about 14 days and died. Anandibai thought that lack of competent physician had resulted in her losing her only child. It was this incident that first led her to think of studying medicine. She was convinced that the baby might have been saved had it been possible for her to obtain proper medical advice. From this time, her thoughts were turned to the need for women doctors in India. She also conceived the idea of studying medicine herself, with the purpose of devoting her life to alleviate the suffering of her fellow countrywomen. Her husband supported her plans and suggested that if possible, they should both go to America, where she would have the best opportunities of obtaining a thorough medical education. And so, Gopal Vinayak Joshi addressed a letter to the editor of a missionary paper in America, asking for some funds to enable him and his wife to proceed to America. This letter was published in the paper, though the editor, Dr. Wilder, discouraged this request. Interestingly, it so happened that a lady, remarkable in philanthropy and spirituality, went to see her dentist from New Jersey to Elizabeth. On the dentist's table lay the old paper of the Missionary Review, and she took it up to while away her moments of waiting. She saw Gopal's letter published in it, and it seemed to her a genuine cry for help. She copied the address, and then, as she went slowly home, she realized that she knew nothing of British India. nothing of possible ways or means to help Anandibai and Gopal, and so she put the whole subject out of her mind. But the next morning, the thought to do something and to help them returned. She could not get rid of the impression that it belonged to her to answer that letter. Early in March 1880, she wrote a letter to Gopal. In this letter, she offered the shelter of her own home to the young wife. The strength and sweetness of Mrs. Carpenter's letters seemed to have won Anandibai's confidence at once. Carpenter and Anandibai developed a close friendship and came to refer to each other as aunt and niece. The two ladies wrote letters and details of their lives to each other regularly. Then the Joshis moved to Calcutta. Here, Anandibai learned to read and speak Sanskrit and English, though in Calcutta, her health deteriorated. In 1883, Gopal Rao was transferred to Serampore, and he decided to send Anandibai by herself to America for her medical studies, despite her poor health. Though apprehensive, Gopal Rao convinced her to set an example for other women by pursuing higher education and becoming a doctor. On learning of Anandibai's plans to pursue higher education in the West, Orthodox Indian society censured her very strongly. The couple were troubled a lot, treated like outcasts, though their resolve never dampened. Finally, after crossing a number of hurdles, Anandibai began her medical training at the age of 19 in the Women's Medical College of Pennsylvania. Mrs. Carpenter and Dean of Women's Medical College of Pennsylvania helped her settle there. In America, her health worsened because of the cold weather and unfamiliar diet. She contracted tuberculosis. Nevertheless, she graduated with an MD in March 1886, and in late 1886, Anandibai returned to India. She received a grand welcome. The princely state of Kolhapur appointed her as the physician in charge of the female ward of the local Albert Edward Hospital. Anandibai died of tuberculosis early the next year on 26 February 1887, before turning 22. "I have done all that I could do," were her words during the last few days. Her ashes were sent to Mrs. Carpenter, who placed them in her family cemetery in Poughkeepsie, New York. Anandibai was hardly 22 when she died, and yet in her short life, she had accomplished and sacrificed in the endeavor to bring help and relief to her suffering fellow countrywomen. Stories with Samira pays tribute to and salutes our first Indian woman in medicine, Dr. Anandibai Gopal Joshi. Friends, if you have liked the story, do click like and share. And for more such stories, subscribe to Stories with Samira. Thank you.